Diabetes in hot summer weather, how to stay safe. When summer rolls around, folks with diabetes might face some extra hurdles. Studies show that super hot weather can affect your health if you have diabetes, making you more sensitive to high temp and humidity. You may have a tougher time keeping your blood sugar level steady, and you could be more prone to heat exhaustion, folks. So when it gets really hot, make sure you keep a close eye on your blood sugar and watch out for signs that your body's not handling the heat so well. That way you can step in before things get serious. So in this video, we'll talk about how to stay safe while controlling your blood sugar as a diabetic. So don't go anywhere. We have some great information to share with you to keep you safe this summer, especially in this heat wave that we're having. My name is Mr. A1C. Although I do have a medical background, this is not a medical channel. This channel shares my diabetic journey and how I was able to reverse my diabetes diagnosis using common sense and a little trial and error, so you don't have to make the same mistakes I made, and hopefully you can reverse your diabetes diagnosis as well. I'm hoping to see that. If you're managing diabetes with insulin, be aware that hot weather can significantly affect your blood sugar control. Poor blood sugar control and dehydration are common concerns in the summer, guys. For those with nerve damage due to diabetes, the inability to sweat properly can lead to heat exhaustion and heat stroke, and that nerve damage is typically called neuropathy, peripheral neuropathy. It's crucial to protect your medications and testing equipment from extreme temperatures, as they can degrade and become ineffective as well. Make sure that you get a grip on your blood sugar control before indulging in summer activities. If your blood sugars are consistently above 250 milligrams per deciliter, it's recommended to improve your blood sugar control before engaging in strenuous activity, regardless of the temperature outside, folks. By taking a few precautions this way, you can ensure a safe and enjoyable summer, especially this summer. So, ways the heat can affect people with diabetes like ourselves. So, it's not that, just the hot weather can make you feel super tired. It can also have some not so great effects on how diabetes affects our bodies. For instance, people with diabetes can tend to get a little dehydrated faster than others, which you probably already know. Mild to moderate dehydration can cause fatigue. You can pee less, increasing thirst, dizziness, headache, and even dry mouth and dry eyes, guys. So keep that in mind. If dehydration gets worse, you might experience excessive thirst, as I mentioned, dark colored pee, which is not a good sign, guys, low blood pressure, and a rapid heart rate, all bad signs. Some people even notice they sweat less. Dehydration can cause your blood sugar levels to rise, making you need to pee or urinate more often, which can make things a little worse, or a lot worse. Depends how you look at it. Plus, if you have diabetes, you're more susceptible to heat exhaustion because heat temperatures can affect your blood vessels and nerves, including those in your sweat glands, making it harder for your body to cool down. On top of that, hot weather can disrupt how your body uses insulin. Normally, exercise reduces your need for insulin. I just got finished exercising, by the way, because I have to do it. But hot weather can change that, putting you at risk for both high and low blood sugar scenarios. So it's a good idea to chat with a healthcare professional about adjusting your insulin based on your activity levels and the weather. We can't talk about heat without talking about humidity, guys. I don't know about you, but where I live, it's been extra humid. So in some places, it's not just hot, it's also humid. The extra moisture in the air can make the heat feel a little bit more intense. So here's a challenge for people like us with diabetes. When it's humid, your sweat doesn't evaporate as easily as it does in drier conditions. This can make it tougher to stay cool, and that can make it harder for you to manage your blood sugar levels. The Centers for Disease Control, or CDC, recommends keeping an eye on the heat index in your area where you live, as it takes both temperature and humidity into account. So here's some tips for some warm weather and diabetes management, which is the whole reason you're watching this video, right? You're probably diabetic, pre-diabetic, type 1, type 2, and it's super hot outside, and you want to know how to stay safe in this heat. Here are some tips to manage your diabetes and stay safe in the heat this summer, guys. Drink lots of water, but avoid sugary drinks. Stay out of 7-Eleven. Leave the Slurpees alone. Leave the sodas alone. Water, guys. Wear light, loose clothing for the heat, especially if you'll be outside. Steer clear of alcoholic beverages. You heard it right. Minimize the alcohol, as they can make you pee more or urinate more and lose fluids. Check your blood sugar levels often, especially before and after activities like exercise when it's hot outside. Stay in the shade when you're outside, as the heat index can be higher in direct sunlight. And that's common sense, but I thought I'd mention that anyway. Exercise indoors in an air-conditioned environment or space, or do it early mornings when it's cooler outside. And also understand your medications and their heat warnings, their contraindications, whether you should be in the sun or not, or in heat. Be prepared for complications like diabetic ketoacidosis. If you've watched other videos of mine, you know I've discussed ketoacidosis. If you have type 1 diabetes and use insulin, this is something you should be aware of. So what is ketoacidosis, you may ask? Ketoacidosis is a severe diabetes complication that arises when the body fails to generate sufficient insulin. Insulin is crucial for enabling glucose, the primary energy source for tissues and muscles, to penetrate cells. In the absence of adequate insulin, the body starts to break down fat for energy, which is not always a bad thing, but for us diabetics it is, leading to a rise in acidic substances known as ketones in the bloodstream. So for those people that are on a ketogenic diet and are perfectly healthy, they want to produce ketones, but we diabetics, we don't want to produce ketones if we can help it, right? So if left untreated, this can result in diabetic ketoacidosis, as I mentioned. If you have diabetes or are prone to it, it's vital to understand the symptoms and emergency care procedures. So let's talk about some of these symptoms of ketoacidosis, guys, because this is important. It's hot outside. I want you guys to stay healthy. Diabetic ketoacidosis symptoms can manifest rapidly, sometimes within a day. For some, these symptoms may be the initial indication of diabetes, and they may also include intense thirst, frequent urination, nausea and vomiting, stomach pain, weakness or fatigue, guys, shortness of breath, sweet smelling breath. That's one I learned that in nursing school. I learned that in the Army too. I was a combat medic in the Army. Sweet smelling breath, like a fruity breath, and also confusion. Additional signs of diabetic ketoacidosis, which can be detected through home blood and urine tests, also include elevated blood sugar levels, so your high blood sugars, and high ketone levels in your urine. So what are ketones, you may ask? So we're just digging down this hole today. Ketones are substances created by your liver when it needs to use fat for energy because there's not enough insulin to process the sugar. This is normal for everyone, like I mentioned earlier, but when you have diabetes like us, things can go pretty bad pretty fast. So if too many ketones build up in your blood, it can lead to a serious condition. It's important to keep an eye on your ketone levels, guys, especially if you're a diabetes patient. Prolonged ketoacidosis is deadly, so take it very seriously, folks. Remember, your diabetes supplies are also sensitive to the heat. So if you're out at the beach or wherever you may be, keep that in mind. You're taking your insulin with you, you're taking your meters with you, you're taking your patches with you if you need to. So don't leave your insulin pump, your glucose meter, or other supplies in a hot car or in direct sunlight. Keep your test strips and other supplies in a cool location, ideally with your other equipment and away from the sun and heat, folks. If you're traveling, keep your insulin in a cooler, but avoid placing ice packs directly on top of the insulin. If you use a sensor and need to replace it, that's your patch that you use, ensure no sunscreen gets on the new site where you're going to put the sensor. Thoroughly clean the area before application for proper adhesion so it stays where you put it. The same applies to an insulin pump when changing the insertion site. Note that the pump reservoir may require more frequent changes due to insulin warming up. When sunbathing, place a towel over your pump to prevent insulin heating. So make sure that it doesn't heat up too much. If blood sugar levels are unusually high, it might be due to heat damaged insulin in the reservoir, so consider replacing the insulin. If you have neuropathy, there's a risk of not feeling your feet getting burnt on hot surfaces like on the beach or on the concrete or wherever you are. So always apply sunscreen and wear protective footwear like flip-flops, sandals, or shoes. So we're digging down this hole. You're going to ask, what's neuropathy? Another question. Neuropathy or damage to the nerves can come from various sources like diabetes or chemo. Often called peripheral neuropathy, which you guys are probably very familiar with in terms of the name. It's not a single condition, but a bunch of issues involving damaged peripheral nerves. It's not reversible, but you can manage it through diet, lifestyle changes, and treatment, guys. The symptoms can vary based on the cause and the individual. They may also include numbness that can be temporary or permanent, which many of you are normally aware of, tingling, prickling, or a burning sensation, which we're aware of as well, increased sensitivity to touch, pain, muscle weakness or wasting, paralysis, issues with organs, glands, urination, and sexual function as well, guys. So what are some of the symptoms we want to look out for? Protect yourself from summer heat and its potential risks, especially if you have diabetes. One such risk is going to be hypoglycemia, a condition where your blood sugar levels drop too dangerously, typically below 70 milligrams per deciliter. The heat and humidity of summer can increase your metabolism and insulin absorption, heightening your risk for hypoglycemia. Don't let this risk catch you off guard. Be vigilant and watch for symptoms like confusion, blurred vision, anxiousness, sweating, tremors, and/or heart palpitations. So this is serious stuff, guys. In severe cases, you may even lose consciousness, guys. Always carry glucose tablets or a quick source of carbohydrates to treat hypoglycemia or low blood sugar immediately should the symptoms arise. Preparation and awareness are key to enjoying a safe and healthy summer. If you're finding value in my channel and my videos, guys, please subscribe to the channel, comment on the video. Don't forget to share and participate in the community area of the channel as well, so we can get to know each other. So let's move on. Hyperglycemia, the other end of the spectrum. First we're talking about hypoglycemia, low blood sugar. Now we're talking about hyperglycemia, high blood sugar. Stay vigilant this summer to prevent hyperglycemia, a condition where your blood sugar levels become excessively high due to insufficient insulin or impaired insulin usage. Hyperglycemia is defined as blood sugar levels above 180 milligrams per deciliter after meals or persistently above 130 milligrams per deciliter before eating. Don't ignore symptoms like extreme thirst, frequent urination, and fatigue, folks. While these could be signs of dehydration, they're also indicators of hyperglycemia, so keep that in mind. Always check your blood sugar levels and ensure you're staying hydrated. Don't dismiss these symptoms. Early detection and action can significantly contribute to your safety and health. So this is the important thing. When do we determine that there is an emergency? When, it's summertime, it's hot, I'm on the beach or I'm out having a good time and the humidity is high. When do I know that I have an emergency? If you notice some symptoms of dehydration or heat exhaustion, prioritize your well-being. That means you come first. Forget about everything else. Your health comes first. Seek a cool indoor area, replenish with fluids to rehydrate, and monitor your blood sugar levels. If they fall below 70 milligrams per deciliter, the ADA, the American Diabetes Association, advises the 15-15 rule. Consume 15 grams of carbs, then wait 15 minutes and retest. In case of elevated blood sugar, quick-acting insulin often helps. However, for dangerously high levels, prompt hospitalization is crucial, guys. So if your level goes above 180, I think you really need to go to the emergency room or to the emergency clinic, the nearest one that you can find if you're out and about. So with critically low insulin and high sugar levels, swift medical attention is necessary to prevent diabetic ketoacidosis, a potential medical emergency, as I mentioned previously, and life-threatening. Okay, so remember that. That's how important it is. So what is the key to this whole discussion? Summer can be a joyful season, but the heat and humidity can significantly impact individuals like us with diabetes. Vigilance is the key, as signs of dehydration and heat exhaustion may arise. It's crucial to maintain a steady watch over your blood sugar levels, folks. Ensure that you have a bountiful supply of medications, fast-acting carbohydrates, and other essentials within easy reach no matter where you are in this hot weather. This way you can promptly access your medication, swift-acting carbs, or other supplies as needed. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some value out of it. I hope you guys are getting some positive results from the information that I'm sharing with you. And that's it for me. Have a great day. I'll see you on the next video.